See, I like this, right? And I've had difficulties with what I've seen happening with some of our, not political leaders, but some of our social leaders. Okay. When they speak, they share their vision. Okay. And in that sharing, they also vilify those who do not agree with them. And once I see that, I'm see, it gets me this way, that you are sharing a vision. At this time, we're still sharing that vision, and you cannot determine that your view is so powerfully correct that anyone who has a disagreement with that vision is not African. It's always, he has been bought. And that gets me. Okay. Now, I will tell you this. I don't know if you are a Pan-Africanist. I am not. And I'm not because I don't know what it is. Right? I've heard people talk about it. I've heard former leaders from the 60s talk about it. And I ask myself this question. Why has Pan-Africanism not worked? Okay? And this is my view about it. It has not worked because all through the process, all these years, our leaders have not dealt with the issues that other countries and other leaders have. Okay, it seems when the vision of Pan-Africanism came up, the visionaries who came up with it, Nkrumah and others, once they had that vision, they thought this is the correct way to go.
Right.
And for me, I don't know what happened between them, but from what I see today and what the Pan-Africanist leaders are doing and saying, it seems they think, oh, this is the way to go, and anyone who doesn't agree with this is not African or has been bought. And see, that's a lot. And I would say this. I grew up in Nigeria in the 80s and 90s. All through my growing up in Nigeria, I was never really acquainted with Pan-Africanism. Okay, I know about it because my father he studied history and he taught history, so I knew about it, but it wasn't a big thing in Africa, in Nigeria. I got to talk about it more when I went to graduate school, because one of my lecturers, he was my mentor, a good friend of my father at the same time, Festus Yayi, Dr. Festus Yayi, was a Pan-Africanist and a Marxist. So we used to talk about those things. Okay, but apart from that, I wasn't really engaged in that kind of discussion. And I know very few Nigerians of my generation were engaged in that discussion. So that tells me something.
That makes sense.
The biggest country in terms of population, at the biggest, the most diverse country in Africa wasn't really on board with it. And I think that the reason is that we vilify those people who have a different opinion about these things. And so it didn't work. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you are doing something, social entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
To drive the vision of Africans being the determinants of the future of Africa.
Yeah.
So we need to do this in a way to open up everything to let others have their say.